Okay, welcome back to, I don't want to call it my video anymore because it's our video. Welcome back to our video. Thanks for checking it out. Let me know if you think I should change anything because this is our video. But for real, I'm serious. Because I don't even know fully why I put videos out, to be honest. So, other than maybe some entertainment, maybe some knowledge, maybe some training, helps me get more comfortable being uncomfortable. So that being said, if there's anything you think I should change or anything you want to see, just let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. Let's see if there's something I can do to help y'all out. Anyway, on that note, let's get on with the video. So what I have for you today to share with all y'all is that LS Turbo build that is for Braden Lekuman. I guess I just kind of got carried away and I just started doing some work. So I guess I could show you where I'm at. Just pull off the covers here a little bit for you. So really, maybe I'm not as far as I am in my head. However, I do have all the rings gapped. What I went with is, well, actually, let me start by saying I made sure that the garage was heated up enough where the block was at least 70 degrees. It was about 71 degrees because it's aluminum block. It does flex around, it does move around, so I did check at the right temperature. I also did that for the main bearings. So our main bearings are also in, as you can see. They are all checked, ready to go there as well. So before I talk in circles again, rings are a plasma moly type. And of course the heater goes off. Hopefully the audio isn't too bad. And I gapped them to 30 thousandths on the top ring and 32 thousandths on the bottom ring. Now let's talk about that just for a bit here. Your top ring should not be bigger than your second ring, in my opinion, based on theory, experience, talking to others, etc., etc. The reason you get gases past your first ring and your second ring isn't wide enough where it can escape past there as well to help dissipate, you're going to get some ring flutter at the top and you can get some gases exploding there. Could help you knock off your top ring land on your piston, and nobody wants that. Somehow it's always numbered like piston number 7 or 8. I don't know, it's just how it is. So that is the reason why I went a little bit looser on the second ring by 2 thou. But here's the thing, I like to go at like 20% larger on that second ring. Now you might ask, hey, 30 to 32 isn't 20% larger. I know, but hear me out. The top ring on a hyper eutectic style piston is going to take a lot of heat. So that top ring gap is going to start butting together a lot tighter, and it's going to maintain heat in the top, and that's where it's going to get into the cylinder walls to dissipate the heat, and some of it's going to travel down to the second ring. So the second ring is not going to take nearly as much abuse. So that means your second ring isn't going to close up as much as your top ring will. So as it closes up on the top ring, you're under boost, getting it just heat soaked galore. That thing's closing up, but your second ring gap isn't closing up that much. Not nearly to the same extent, okay? So that's my theory. On a forged piston, it's a little bit different because you're forging, sorry, that sounded weird. You're forging, your forged piston dissipates heat all the way through. So your ring gaps are going to start expanding, butting together, so to speak, or tightening up more evenly top and second rings. So there you usually just straight up gap that second ring 20% larger than the top ring, and you also have to do your top ring less than you would on a hyper-eutectic piston under these kind of circumstances. That being said, hyper-eutectic piston isn't the best option for booster nitrous anyway. So maybe it's just a Mickey Mouse way around it to try to make it live. I don't know. So anyway, I'll move on from that. I want to show you something here that I learned. Aluminum block. Let's flip this thing around here. Aluminum block, I didn't realize how much would actually flex or move around, but I did a little bit of an experiment. So when I torqued the main cap bolts down, I did them the normal spec, I checked the bearing clearance. Then what I did, I actually took and put the side bolts in, torqued those down as well. And after I torqued these down, would you think that your bearing clearance is going to change from torquing those side bolts down? And that's it. They're only 18 foot-pounds, guys. My family just thought it was nuts that this blew me away. You know who you are. Daryl, Anthony, Carla. This is important. This is important stuff. What I found is they all opened up by 2/10,000ths of an inch, except for one, which opened up 1/10,000th of an inch. So that's something. I mean, I know it's not huge, but that's a pretty cool experiment. And from now on, I will always torque those side bolts down as well when I'm checking the bearing clearance. So yeah, that was fun. That was fun to know. What else we got going on? I also have, I guess, the rod bearing clearance all checked out. The main bearing clearances, 2.5 thou right now. 2.5 or 26/10,000ths, somewhere in that ballpark, okay? The rod bearing clearance, we are at 23/10,000ths of an inch. So we're dialed in there. Crankshaft has been all polished up at the machine shop, and I just have to final clean this thing yet, and it's good to go. I got the piston to wall clearance all checked out. There we go. Now, we're not putting new pistons in it. We're going to run some oldies in here. Piston wall clearance. This might be a little redneck actually, but basically I went through all my old pistons and I found the ones that had the largest diameter, and it was by like a couple of tenths. But actually I found that these were maybe 1/2 thou even tighter or wider than some of these older ones. Like, we got a little bit of wear, right? So it knocks the skirting off, that coating they put on there, I should say. It knocks that off, it scuffs up the piston. Eventually it just starts to choke that piston down and narrows it down. So I went through all my old pistons and everything, and I found the ones that were still the fullest. And I measured those out, and we're averaging about 3.5 thou piston to wall clearance. Now, that is still a little on the loose side for a hypereutectic piston, especially when you think that majority of the heat is soaked in on the top ring side and pushed through into the cylinder walls at that point. So your skirt, it's going to expand some, and it's going to swell, and it's going to maybe not make so much noise, but maybe not as much as it, definitely not as much as it would on a forged piston. So we're going to send it though. I've run them at 4 before, and you just get a little piston slap at cold startup. So this is 3.5-ish. You know what? We're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay, and this thing's gonna be loose, and loose is fast, right, Dwayne? Cool. That's where we're at. I didn't really show anything. Piston rings, after you cut them, make sure you deburr them. I'm telling you, this machine, if you do like any kind of engines and you're planning on doing a few of them, this is amazing. I got the entire set of rings in 27 minutes. All of them. I open them up, top one's to 30, second one's to 32, and they're all perfect. When you stick your feeler gauge in there, you got a nice little snug fit. You let go, the thing doesn't slide away on you. It stays there nicely, like just dialed. 27 minutes. Mind you, that doesn't count me deburring the rings. So, I don't know if you want to knock some points off for that, but whatever. I think you're nitpicking if you do. So I guess that's what I got next here. So I'm gonna take the piston rings out, get them deburred, and I can start putting some cam bearings in this thing, get the core plugs in it. One last wipe down. It's already final washed. And then I can install the crank, wash the crank, install the crank, and just keep it going. And we'll get this thing going in no time here. So, Braden, get your car ready, man. It's go time. But anyway, thanks for watching our video, and we'll see you on the next one. So real quick here before we're done, for the 5.3 build here, the pistons I was showing you guys, the ring land gets a little tight, a little thin, right where the valve relief is on the piston, and the piston wall was still pretty loose. So I talked with Braden, and you know, we decided, hey, you know, let's just get another stock style piston and like a brand new set and throw it in there. It's not that much money, and at least, you know, your skirts are a little bit thicker, they're not worn out, your piston wall clearance is going to get better, and then you don't have the valve reliefs in there because you can get the flat tops, right? So these are the pistons that we picked up, and they look pretty good. I measured out a couple so far just to see. Show you one out here. Show you one out. Still good with the words, as you can tell. So yeah, I mean, it's still just a stock style piston, right? The sun's maybe giving you guys some funny light there. So yeah, you know, nice looking stock piston. Comes with the pins and the snap rings, or whatever you want to call it. They're not spiral locks, but for the sides, actually I think I'm missing some for this, but that's okay. I have so many from others. So yeah, I just measured out one real quick, and our piston wall clearance, much better, much better. In fact, I'm slightly worried it might be a little bit too tight. But I mean, you're measuring right at the bottom of the piston, right? And the hyper pistons, they swell a lot on the top, but not so much on the bottom. So I'm thinking we should be just right. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention that before I close this video out. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for another.